94. These views are independent and do not represent those of Radio Christian Voice.
Welcome to Chat Bad. Chat Bad.
Okay, it's now responded. A lovely good morning to you and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Chat Back right here on Radio Christian Voice. My name is Angel Kasabo. Always great to know that you are tuned in this morning and a lovely good morning to you. A reminder that this conversation is live on Facebook. You go to your Facebook and search for RCV News. RCV News is a platform where we post everything current affairs. So come through and let's get interactive on that platform. And the number is 0956-200-490. 0956-200-490. That's the number that you can use to get in touch with the studio. Last week, the Movement for Good Governance, also known as Chawaiche, officially joined the Tonse Alliance, a political formation led by Honorable Binwell Mpundu, a Member of Parliament for Nkana. This development has surprised many Zambians, particularly the young people who have been closely following the movement. Ichawaiche has positioned itself as a youth-driven platform encouraging young citizens to actively participate in governance and national affairs. Earlier this year, the movement backed an independent candidate in the Chawama by-elections. That's the Chawama parliamentary by-elections, reinforcing its image as an alternative voice seeking to reshape Zambia's political landscape. Now that it has aligned itself with the Tonse Alliance, questions are emerging about the role the movement will play within the coalition. Has this decision strengthened its influence or has it diluted its purpose? Many young supporters are also wondering whether they have been let down. Within an established alliance, aspiring youth candidates may have to compete with seasoned politicians for adoption at ward, mayoral, and parliamentary levels. Have the youths who rallied behind this movement been betrayed? Or is this a strategic move to gain broader political influence? These are the questions that we raise today as we host Honorable Binwell Mpundu, founder of the Movement for Good Governance and Member of Parliament for Nkana, to provide clarity on the movement's direction and future. Honorable, good morning and welcome to Chatback.
Good morning, Angel, and allow me to pass my regards to those that will be joining this conversation this morning.
Most definitely. Honorable, it's always refreshing to have you on this platform, and thank you so much for accepting our invitation to host you here. How is the year going for you? I know, very busy.
It's a very busy year, being a year of election, being our last perhaps few months in Parliament. It's quite an exhausting period, challenging if you want to, call it that way. But I think that over time we've been able to, we are getting there.
Most definitely. All right. Let's start from the top. An announcement was made last week a huge announcement that the Movement for Good Governance had joined the Tonse Alliance. Let's start from there. I know you gave the reasons as to why you've joined Tonse Alliance, but perhaps a refresher course, so that our listeners do understand the main reason as to why the movement Ichawache decided to join the Tonse Alliance. And was this decision made in consultation with the young people, or this was perhaps a decision that you made by yourself because you are the founder of this particular movement?
So once again, Angel, thank you. And thank you for giving me this platform so that we could, clarify some of the misgivings, be able to respond to questions that our people may have over this particular, move. I want to start by stating that for me, there's nothing as beautiful or important that has happened to me on my political journey than the decision to initiate this grand idea we are calling Ichawache, which is the Movement for Good Governance. For those who may be, listening or hearing of this for the first time, so we conceived an idea that we needed to bridge up the gap between the aspirations and dreams of the young people, as well as what the political environment have got to offer vis-a-vis the opportunities for these young people. I am one of those who have come a long way, taking the bullet or having to face these realities on the ground. I started off as a very young person in the political arena with a patriotic front somewhere 19 years ago. Okay, I started off as a branch chairperson, rose to the ward, to the constituents. Finally, I settled at the province, and in the 2016 election, I was leading the province of the Copper Belt for the PF as provincial secretary. So, in all my time serving as PF, I could safely say the people that actually does the politics are the young people. All the donkey work you can think about politics is done by the young people. If you talk about, campaigning, it is actually the young people. The entire mobilization activities are done by the young people. When you talk about, these, squabbles, facing off competitors, violence and all these things, it is all done by the young people. When it comes to the numbers, ultimately in the elections, the biggest chunk of numbers in terms of votes comes from the young people. So we can safely say that the young people are the kingmakers. And history will tell you from the time that we liberated this country, or this country was liberated by our forefathers, it actually took the young people. You are aware, Angel, that KK only became 40 when he was already in office as president. Now, we are told by history that KK was Secretary General at 23 years. So, when you look at the contingent of those who worked with KK, they were all young people. We are told of history. Arabi was very young when he was sent into foreign service. VJ was sent into a foreign service, arguably at 18 years. So, it is an undisputable fact that the young people are the main players in the political equation. Except over time, the young people were fed with an adage that they are future leaders, which literally relegated the young people to the terraces waiting for that future to come. Unfortunately, there's not been anyone who has been able to define when that future is going to come, when these young people will now take the stand or will sit on the table of decision making. I have argued on several platforms as to when that time will come and to whether that statement is actually true. Okay, as an example, when I declared my intention to run for presidency of this country, a lot of people have been saying, Mwaiche is young, but I'm 43 years old, and I'm here telling myself, if KK was president at 40, why would anybody suggest that I am young at 43? Okay, now you can therefore conclude that it is an adage that was carefully coined to relegate young people into the terraces. They will allow them to do the donkey work, but in the meantime, when the soup, or rather the meal is prepared, the young people only take bonds. Okay? So, I had the biggest beating, in 2021, when against all odds, the Patriotic Front decided to ignore my application for adoption for the second time. I was the most popular candidate in 2016 when the PF decided to leave me in the adoption. Of course, loyalty card was invoked. I played the loyalty card. 2021, I just thought, no, it cannot be that ifota to akakule, because every time they are saying ifota to akakule. At that point, I told myself that come rain, come sunshine, I was going to participate as an independent, because it looked like this was a one-sided relationship where, our superiors all wanted us to be just a donkey or playing the donkey work. Meanwhile, they wanted to always be escorted, into offices. So I was glad. Oh, by the way, Angel, this idea of the movement Ichaba was actually not initiated by Binwell Mpundu. It was actually initiated by a young person who you would not even think would have anything to do with politics. Actually, is a Jerabo from the Copper Belt who came and told me, Babino, I think that our time also has come. But if we Majerabo, if we fish politics, I think that you can run with this idea. So I want to state here, this initiative of Ichaba is not a Binwell Mpundu initiative. It is actually from the Jerabos, who actually said, no, we also need time or recognition in the political arena. After all, we are the ones who actually does the donkey work. I basically just ran with the idea and invited friends who came on board. At initiation stage, there was myself, Honorable JJ Banda, we had Munia Zulu, Honorable, who is now incarcerated, Honorable Chonde, who is Member of Parliament for Milenge, we had Thomas Sipalo. In fact, we also had our sister Iris Kaingu. As part of the initial group that started putting together the idea of this movement. And so for us, it was about time to create a platform or a special vehicle that would now embrace the young people who desired to get into politics and be recognized thereof. Yeah. Because one of the daunting tasks for young people in today's politics, being a commercial undertaking, is how they would navigate around the complexities of participating in an election, vis-a-vis how would they access resources, how would they have the technical know-how, because it's quite a lot to win an election. And so the Movement for Good Governance sought to create that platform to bridge that gap. But you see, we've done a lot of work since December 2023 when this idea was muted. We've sold the idea. It has been a contentious issue also in regards to the name we adopted. Remember, we are the Movement for Good Governance, MGG, but we coined up a slogan just so that we could align to the agenda of this movement. So we called this movement Ichaba Iche, meaning Ichichi movement Ichi, Te Chaba Kalamba, Chaba Iche. And because our country has become so polarized and tribally charged, there were several people that thought, no, it was a tribally inclined, name. But the idea was we would call it Ichaba Iche to mean for young people, for those who speak Bemba. It is called Savanana for those who come from the Western province. It is called Njabana for those who come from the South. It is called Chabafana for these Dao people who come from the East, but also called Kiavanike for those who come from the Northwest. So, contrary to those who would assert that it's a tribal name, it's actually that, Mwashafia Babemba, it's a popularly spoken language. Otherwise, the original name is the Movement for Good Governance. But because of the dominance of Bemba, that is why you hear in most circles it being referred to as Ichaba. But you can call it Chabafana. Yeah. So here we are, 2 years down the line. Almost every part of the country, somebody has heard about this movement being a platform championing the interest of young people vis-a-vis participating in governance issues. Now, this is not an undertaking for years to come, many years to come. For us, we sought to have our impact right now and right here. We realized that the political arena needed a complete overhaul. Otherwise, I see beyond August this year, there will not be, opposition political activities anymore because of what is happening, around our friends, the UPND. Okay? So, we came to a very painful decision that we needed to ponder the idea of us going into the 2016 election solo or teaming up with others. Remember, if we went in solo, obviously we would have had more opportunities for young people. But the question is, could we win it? Okay, because the fact remains that we've not been able to cover the whole country, establishing structures. I'll tell you the importance of structures.
Did your performance in Chawama also contribute to this? You gave it a try in Chawama and you're like, oh, the political landscape is actually difficult than we thought. Did Chawama also contribute to that decision of, let's be realistic, maybe we may not win?
So I'll tell you this. When we were making a decision to go into Chawama, I remember sitting down with my team. I just didn't want to break their hearts. But I was in essence telling them we can't go into Chawama because we had not done what needed to be done. Establish structures and get the mobilization of people that we thought could win us the election. Because I'll tell you, to go into an election without structures is a complete gamble. Okay, and we got a beating in Chawama because we had not covered the base.
So you as a leader, you knew that you were going to
lose in Chawama? I knew that, but you see, our members insisted they wanted to learn. Okay, they wanted to understand the complexities of the election. They wanted us to prove people who thought that we're just a noise-making group on social media. We needed to be seen on the ground. So we conceded to the request of our members that we needed to go to show face and just be able to learn. But I knew that we were going to lose because, look, me have been around politics for 19 years. I understand to win politics, you must cover your bases. Now, after that, we've been able to tell our friends in the Chavaiche that you've seen what we got. It therefore means if we've not covered base in Mwinilunga, there's no way we can expect a miracle that we can get an MP in Mwinilunga. And we came to a painful conclusion that because we've not been able to cover all these bases, because we've not been able to go around, Angel, we've not covered a lot of places. And so to go into this election of August solo means we were just going to have gone in just merely to be on record. Of course, we would have put up a fight because I can tell you, like I've been telling other people. So what has happened?
Just there. So are you also conceding that, because I know you've got dreams of becoming a Republican president. So if you say that Ichava, if we went into the 2026 general election, you're going to get a very bad beating, are you also conceding as a presidential candidate that you are going to lose if you're on the ballot under the Movement for Good Governance in 2026?
With the work we've done so far, chances are that we're going to have lost the election.
That's including yourself?
Yes. We were going to have lost the election because I'll tell you, I live in realities. I don't live in illusions. Right now, we have a system where we actually count who we have on our books. Okay? So the idea of the movement is that let's physically assess our presence and membership. So we have a technology system that allows members to register as members. Previously, when you join the movement, you would sit on our WhatsApp groups, which are in excess of 500 groups. When you count the people that are in the group, some of them are Moors, they are spies, but we are in excess of 1 million members in those WhatsApp groups. Now, we introduced the idea of becoming a fully paid, or rather a bona fide member of the movement by signing up.
Okay.
So today, for you to claim that you are a member of Ichava, you must have signed up as a member. So you go to online links, that, gives you a form that you have to sign up. In that form, you also have to push in your voter's card as a qualification for you to become a member. As of 2 days ago, we actually did post, the status quo. We have in excess of 600,000 members who have so far registered and obtained membership cards. So when you look at the numbers of our elections, at just those people who have already registered as members being over 600,000, we could arguably say we are the biggest political grouping, because I can challenge you, Angel. I don't think that the UPND have got over 600,000 members. There's no political parties today that can claim they have got over 600,000 members, but we do have.
Yeah, but you know how members are. They will register with the Movement for Good Governance. They will register with the National Movement for National Renewal. They will register with the UPND. So you'd find one member is in 5 groups.
They are very rare cases.
Don't you think perhaps that's not something to go by? Seeing how our voters' behavior change among our voters.
Angel, I'll tell you, there are very rare cases that a person would go and register as a member of a political grouping and have a membership card just for show. Okay? Chances are that if you were to assess our membership based on our WhatsApp groups, we would obviously be, living in illusions, because some of those who are in our WhatsApp groups are actually not our members. Some of them are just spies. Some of them are just being sponsored to come and bring confusions. But when somebody makes a decision to now register and get a membership card, that's a totally different arrangement. I don't think you or me can go and get a membership card for the UPND, let alone to even put on a t-shirt for the UPND that we don't subscribe to. The step you take to register for a political grouping is the most important step. And for us at that level, we can count you as our member.
So you have 600,000.
We have over 600,000 who have actually registered.
And have these
membership cards. Okay. So our system is that you go on your phone, you click in www.ichabache.com. It gives you a form that you fill in, and that form creates, when you finish the process, it generates, a membership card. But you see, that is on your phone. I'm not able to see what you are doing. I'll not even know that you have actually registered. But we have a database that we are able to check who has registered on a particular date. We are able to know who is in what area. So when we're going into Chawama, we could check in the database. There were very few people in Chawama. Okay. At that point, we knew that Chawama was actually, an attempt in futility. Okay. But you see, we now have the 2021 election. Based on these figures, it is not possible that we can win the election alone. Now, I don't want to be those who wants to, dream. All right. If we went into the August election, we could actually come out second or third. And it is possible that because of now the introduction of proportionate representation, we could send to parliament youths, women, the disabled, because proportionate representation is based on the numbers you got at presidential level. So I know that if we went into this election as Ichabache, we could post 1 million votes. But 1 million votes is not sufficient for us to win the election. In which case, we'll be going into this election just for record's sake.
Yeah, but also, for the
numbers.
sake of you attempting. I know at the end of the day, we all want to win an election. No one wants to come out second. But if you have those figures and you say we could have come out second, don't you think for first attempt that is decent?
I'll tell you this. This is a different election. It is not like any other ordinary election where you just go in for show or to be part of the statistics or to be on the record. This is an election that you go in to win it. We have a monster in town. The UPND needs to be removed at all costs. If you are a Zambian today and you love your country, you cannot allow the UPND to continue beyond August, because there will be nothing to write home about for this country. The UPND have destroyed this country. Let's face it. They've destroyed the economy. There's no rule of law. The justice system has collapsed. There's no democracy. national unity has crumbled. Everything you can think of. Our people today are suffering. Abantu bale chula angel. Kuchula. Even those who are working today, ask anybody from, abamunganda bakaboy into those who have been employed as teachers, nurses, cops. Ask them the nightmare they face on the last day of the month when they get paid. Because lelo, if you get paid 6,000, 7,000, it is nothing if you have a family because of the economy, because of the prices of commodities. Okay, so life has become unbearable for everyone.
Okay, so we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
So now let's now fast forward that also because of time. So it was on that realization that you made as the Movement for Good Governance to then join the Tonse Alliance. There are so many alliances. Is there a specific reason as to why you chose the Tonse?
So I'll tell you this. So it must be stated very clearly that our decision has not been done on impulse. And to answer the question, was it done by Binwell Mpundu? The movement has got leadership across the entire country. We've got the national leadership that were actually the ones who made the decision. If you ask me, I was actually very hesitant. If you ask any member of the movement, they'll tell you I was extremely hesitant to, actually accept that we must align ourselves with it, because we have been discussing with a good number of political players. I have met all the people you can think of. I've met, the People's Pact, Membe and team. I have met, my brother Makebu Zulu. I'd have loved to work with Makebi because he's as young as I am. I have met the other grouping that has been put together by they call it the Council of Elders. I have met, President Harry Kalaba. So I've met literally everyone. But you see, to make such a decision required that we listen to many voices. And so we listen to the church. The church called on us. We listen to traditional leaders. A lot of traditional leaders had called on us to align with this particular alliance.
So even the church called on you and said, you align yourself with Tonse
Exactly.
Alliance.
I will not just mention which one and which traditional leader, but I can tell you, a good number of church leaders had actually indicated join hands with the Tonse Alliance.
This was something that also came from the people.
Exactly. In fact, the biggest call was from the people. It was actually, this idea of us joining hands with others was actually not our own initiative. Of course, we knew these realities have pointed to, but the ultimate decision was prompted because the people were making the calls, including young people themselves, including the very people that made the suggestion that they actually also indicated to me, Bamdala, I think that's to win a fueka. He sent the team up.
Okay, all right. You do agree that there's a saying that they say two cannot work together unless they agree.
Exactly.
Now, one question that I have seen a lot of commentators ask is, when you are joining an alliance, in as much as you say the 2026 general election in August is a must win for either whatever alliance for specific reasons that you may give. When you are joining or when you are teaming up with an alliance, there has to be shared values. Ichawaiche has got values. Tonse has got values. Do the two groupings meet with regards to values? Because it's from there that conversations start.
The two groupings, Ichawaiche and Tonse Alliance, do not meet 100%. But they share quite a good number, in terms of values. As an example, our aspiration is to create a platform for young people. President Mundubile is a keen supporter or a proponent of the idea of young people having, a platform. I think he has said that on several occasions, how he's keen on creating a desk at State House. In fact, he has intimated that it would be his desire that we move the Ministry of Youth to State House. So that for us aligns with our desire, okay? One of our desires is that our resources must be properly harnessed. No room for pilferage, no room for, people pocketing resources. I have several interactions with the Tonse Alliance who have intimated to me that one of their biggest agenda is to fight corruption, because corruption has negated the strides would have made in insofar as development is concerned. So we actually do meet on a number of fronts. We cannot completely meet in all fronts, but I think that if our meeting points are beyond 60%, we are very good. Now, I'll tell you this. There's an African adage that says if you want to walk fast, you have to walk alone. But if you want to walk far, you have to, team up with others. Many would argue, are we not destroying the movement? In fact, we are actually giving the movement, a bigger platform, because you wish to know, politics has become very commercial today. To do politics, to build a political party, you need a lot of resources. I found myself trotting around the globe just to find people that could buy into this idea and sponsor it. Okay? People that sponsors politics would need to be convinced that it is a project worth sponsoring. So I must confess, we struggled financially. Okay?
As Ichabache,
we struggled. We had to rely on our personal contributions, but they were not sufficient, because at some point we even failed to meet our expectations in terms of participating in national events. As the last case was at independence, we had over 70,000 young people wanting to participate in the independence celebrations in Ndola alone. We had over 30,000 young people wanting to participate in the independence celebration in Lusaka alone. Now, to meet those numbers, dressing them up, fairing them, feeding them, is a mammoth task. It's millions of kwachas. And so I am basically saying, joining up with our colleagues, the elders, as you would want to call them, gives us an opportunity that perhaps we could now have access to resources to continue building the agenda of young people. Because I'll tell you this. Contrary to assertions that we may kill the dream of young people, we are actually amplifying it, because now the young people who will have sponsors if they want to vie for political positions.
But that will come at a cost, Honorable. You
What
know
cost?
that. They'll
What cost?
say, wait till your time.
No.
Let's wait. But this has happened to you.
I'll tell you.
This has happened to you in your political journey. And perhaps you're the best person to tell us this.
And I'll tell you this.
And perhaps this is where my next question is coming from. Because they'll say, we loved the foundation at which this particular movement was found on, amplifying the voices of the young people. And again, the question is, okay, fine. If we don't have resources now, for us not to dilute what we have formed, why can't we continue mobilizing and wait till 2031? Or even after till 2031, so that we mobilize, we do not dilute this movement that amplifies the young people's voices. Why didn't we wait? Is it that because 2026 is not the only time that you could be president? It's not the only time that the Ichabache movement could be in government. It's 2031. There's also after that. Why didn't you wait so that you do not dilute this?
Let me tell you this.
Because other people are of the view that your joining into Tonse Alliance has diluted and has undone the good things that you had planned for the young people.
Let me tell you this. The mistake that young people have made over the years has always been to go join a political party as an individual. If today you, Angel, goes to join the UPNG, you have no value to that, political establishment. You have no influence. You are just alone. If Binwell Mpundu was to walk to Tonse alone, there would not have been that celebration you saw there. There would not have been that mass, undertaking there, because Binwell Mpundu alone is nothing. But the reason why people are talking about the union of Ichabache, the young people with the old people, is because the young people went with a big voice. Anyone who knows politics today will tell you the young people are no longer what they used to be, when they would just be said, Kachtenif. They now come to the table with a voice. Why? Because we made the most important decision to come together. In coming together, you you create a big force that cannot be ignored. I'll tell you, it has not been easy for the Tonse, ask the leaders to convince us to join them, because we have had to put terms on the table. What is in for us? Because me, as a person who has had the experiences of being ignored, could not lead my fellow young people into a place where they'll continue being ignored. There's been terms on the table. We've had to negotiate. Colleagues, if we go into an alliance, what is in for my young people? What is in for the likes of Nachabota, brilliant minds that we've been propping up? Christopher Kangombe Jr. in Ndola, brilliant young people that we have given a platform. What is in for them? And I can tell you, the young people who will have a seat on the table of decision making, peradventure the alliance wins. Some of them will find very sure, because unlike the past, if our conditions are not met, we can walk away. Trust me, even if the Tonse won tomorrow and our partners decided to act clever, we can walk away. Are you sure we will lose? We will not lose. We can regroup and actually do bigger things. Okay? There's no way that our partner friends can walk away from what we have agreed. Because what we bring to the table is huge.
Yes, what you bring to the table is huge, but also what the other partner alliance bring to the table is also huge.
Yes.
You just confirm that perhaps financially you're struggling as each other.
Yeah. Our partners may bring finances.
The partners have finances. And I'm sure when you are negotiating, that's just the way it is. When you're negotiating, the one with the finances always is 60. The one without the finances is 40.
We don't mind having 40. Angel, we don't mind having 40. 40 is good for us. All right?
And the young people in this movement have agreed that 40% is good.
No, I'm not saying it's exactly 40. But what I'm saying is that we are going into this as equal partners, as opposed to what the situation was in the past, where young people who simply walk into something they don't even have a voice, for. We are going into this alliance with a big voice. I, as leader of Ichabai, am actually sitting in the council of presidents of the Tonse Alliance, meaning that there will not be any decision that the Tonse will make without me being part of it. And you know what my interest is whenever we are making decisions as leaders in the Tonse, is to take care of the interest of my people. So I want to assure the young people of Zambia that now more than ever, their aspirations and interests are taken care of if this arrangement works. And I think that the young people owes it a duty to this country that we must make this work, because there is no other arrangement. We cannot compare us joining the Tonse Alliance with the parading of students in the stadium just to give them ama 50 kwacha. And in the end, you drive them all the way from Ndola and you don't even give them, money. That is something we are now walking away from. We cannot continue to be used for 100 kwachas, paraded to sing praises or kwenyus or sotsana for only 50 kwacha. No, that time is gone. And I'm actually
Minister of Education made it clear. He clarified yesterday.
Well, in fact, he actually made it worse. In fact, the one who made it worse is the principal of NOTEC, because he actually confirmed that the students were paid. So in essence, the whole student populace of the Copperbelt were actually drawn to go and sing news for President HH, only to be paid for 100 kwacha. But in the end, they were actually even not paid in good time. So this is something we are walking away from. This is what I'm saying. Young people cannot continue to be parading themselves before political masters for handouts. Young people must now be looking for bigger things. Are you telling me, Angel, a guy like Chabota, brilliant as he is, a national asset, cannot go to the UPND and get better things than Amanda Tukwacha? But why do you think he is stuck with Ichabai? It's because Ichabai offers better.
Another principle that Ichabai was formed to have something new on the political scene. We've had enough of, and I say this without any malice, recycled politicians.
Yeah, true.
There's something new that Ichabai is bringing to the table. We're bringing up the young people. Now it joins the Tonse Alliance. That in a lot of people's view, there's a lot of recycled politicians. And sometimes, you know how recycled politicians are. They have the same mentality. No, it's us. Honorable Mpundu, you have to wait. Your time is going to come. There are those sentiments coming through from the young people that now are going to be having these conversations with recycled politicians, people that we've given an opportunity to run the affairs of the country. What is going to be new? Don't you think this is us going back, us going backwards, and perhaps now even abandoning the principles on which this particular movement was formed on?
Let's face it, when we speak to us having a complete overhaul, namwe timu lya bola takwaba okufumya ama players bonse kulaba okushako those for institutional memory, we call it
basketball. They do it.
I play basketball, my brother. You actually leave some anchors. So even when we were saying let's have a complete overhaul of leadership, we were not actually, and I've said this several times, there's no way abayichebenga take beka completely confusing amo na bakalamba. Our desire was, let's have as many fresh minds occupy positions of influence so that they can bring their brand ideas, their innovations. But we still needed to maintain some old guns for memory, for institutional memory, for wisdom and all this. What we do joining the alliance is to now have a combination of young minds and the old minds. That blending is very important for the country. As an example, I announced it when I was joining the Tonse Alliance on behalf of the movement that President Brian, if twice, I said it publicly there. Don't expect that to kalasa yes bwana. If wenga tachiwe me, we will say bossy apateti. And that is what I'm undertaking to do on behalf of the movement. As we go into the alliance, it will not be yes, Bwana, all the time. So we are going to present ideas that we believe are going to work for our people. We are going to allow young people to bring their innovations. And I think that, Honorable Mundubile has so far demonstrated that he's willing, to bend so that we can have, a win-win situation for our country. Yeah. So, contrary to assertions that we could have run the country completely imisepela, it is not possible. You need blending, and us aligning with Abakalamba is us actually blending. By the way, Angel, by the way, Angel, we actually got a lot of beating from the general public who insinuated that so us responding to this call, honestly speaking, you must give us a pat on our backs. We've basically, let me just say this, without, sounding arrogant or otherwise, risk being misunderstood. Had we been selfish, Angel, we could have gone into this election. How many political leaders have you heard today who are ambitious of becoming president, like me, who wanted to be president, have been able to let go of that ambition for the sake of this country?
So you are confirming that your dream to be president, you've packed it aside for the sake of...
For the sake of this country, I am prepared to let go of my personal ambitions. I want to be president. I know I can do a good job. I have come a long way learning. I can do a good job for my country. But for the sake of the country...
Don't you think you've given it up too easily?
I've not given up. Who says I've given up?
You've joined an alliance.
No,
where
joining an alliance...
There's already a presidential candidate.
Joining an alliance does not... It's called tactical withdrawal. Have you heard of that term, tactical withdrawal? So
it means that you're setting your eyes on 2031.
I can tell you. I can even be president in August. You know how God works miracles. God works miracles. I can actually be president in August. No, but what I have done...
Honorable, that's not going to happen.
No.
We already know that there's someone who's been appointed.
Exactly. I'll tell you, unfortunately, God works miracles. I can be president anytime. But what I've done is to be magnanimous, okay? To act selfless. How many leaders today, boasting of the numbers we have, can do what I have done? Nangutabayitasha abaleke njitashe kofe nangufeta tamutasha imweba enjeo ninkwate bumba. Okay, because any political party today wants Ichabache. And they would ready Ichabache to join.
But others are saying you've traded it.
Traded?
You've traded it.
For what?
You've joined Tonse Alliance.
What is trading?
Perhaps maybe
what am I being?
The way it was attractive, it may not be as attractive.
Oh, by the way,
as it's going to be in Tonse Alliance, because already, Honorable, they're saying, look, you were at a very stable establishment, and you decide to join forces with the Tonse Alliance, which is not in a stable establishment. Because as we speak, there are factions in Tonse Alliance. There are issues that have to be resolved in Tonse Alliance. Why would you go join an alliance where there are issues that have to be sorted out? Why didn't you perhaps maybe go for the movement of national renewal? There's an alliance called WOZA. Or perhaps if none of the alliances were attractive to you, perhaps you could have, you are the leader. I know this call came from the people, but you are the leader. You could have told them, okay, guys, let's wait. Let's see how the political arena is going to be. And let's look for stability.
I'll tell you that the alliance before this one that we've joined had those problems you're talking about. This particular alliance we've joined doesn't have those things you're talking about. I think you are aware. The Tonse Alliance we've joined led by Honorable Brian Mundubile. It doesn't have those issues we have.
The issues that Honorable Given has to sort out.
So there are two factions you're speaking to. First of all, there used to be the Tonse that obviously separated. We've joined one faction of the Tonse, and in that Tonse we've joined, there are no issues you are talking about. There's no fighting.
So when you say that you've joined one faction of the Tonse, meaning already there's a problem.
Yeah.
Why are you joining a faction?
So I am confirming that there are two factions because there's another Tonse that is called Tonse. I can't ignore that, okay? But we have joined the Tonse led by Honorable Brian Mundubile, which doesn't have those issues, okay? It is clear today that the two have separated. We have joined one faction.
Trading under the same name.
It looks like.
Honorable,
it looks like.
You know that there are issues. Why, again, I ask you this question. Why did you decide to join, like you are saying, faction? There are issues that have to be resolved. Why didn't you choose stability? And especially when you say that this election is a different election, I'm sure you should have chose stability over these issues that you have to sort out. Because you will go into those issues that you don't even know, and you'll be sorting out issues. You're seated in the Council of Presidents. Those are issues you're going to inherit.
I am telling
you're not even aware.
Angel.
And those are the issues that they'll throw you at the back end.
I am confirming here publicly to you that we have joined the Tonse Alliance led by Honorable Brian Mundubile, which has got zero issues. There are no squabbles. There's nothing. It is all intact, and we are now gearing up to start moving. Now, I'll tell you, like you said, two cannot work together unless they agree. The two groupings, one led by Luvinda, one led by Mundubile, will not work together if they've not agreed. It is my prayer that sometime, soon, people can realize that we need to be in one vehicle. But I know, of course, that it is not completely true to expect that, or correct to expect that political players can all align and move in one vehicle. In any case, people will always align with what is making sense. And I will tell you this fact, you can dispute or prove. Today, majority of the Zambians are beginning to see that the Tonse that I have joined with the movement for Ichabache is making so much sense and is on the move. We've seen changes of government before where there has been a good number of political parties participating. The last election had over 11 political parties. In Malawi, there were 17 political parties that competed. There still was change of government in 2021, in 2011, in 1991. There's always been regime change despite having so many political parties on the ballot paper. Even now, there is a possibility that we are going to have 10 if not more political parties on the ballot paper. But the Zambian people, who are the reason why we have joined this alliance, will always align with what is making sense. For as long as we present ourselves with pure intentions to, develop this country, which we are trying to present right now, the Zambian people will always align. And I can tell you, there's no dispute, there's no contentions, there are no issues in the Tonse Alliance led by Brian Mundubile. We are all set to go. And give me 1 week. We are going to be on the move, and this country will see, politics.
Others have hinted that now that you have sort of said, look, 2026 may be too much for me, and since we've joined Tonse, we're going to back Honorable Mundubile. Others have hinted that perhaps maybe you will go back to Nkana. Is that the case? Can you confirm that? Because I remember hosting you on this platform and you said you had done everything that you could do for Nkana constituency. But with this change, are you still going back to Nkana, or you still stick by your word that you are done with the constituency and it's time to move on?
I'm very grateful to the people of Nkana for the opportunity they gave me when everybody else never thought I was worth. They gave me the benefit of doubt. They gave me, a chance to lead them. I'm not perfect. I may not have met the expectations of the people of Nkana completely. I will tell you, with everything that is within me, I have gone out to do my assignment to the best of my ability. Whatever I've not done, just know I could not have done it. When I went, to campaigning in Nkana, I made commitments that I will help address this, those, that problem. Road infrastructure network. Today, I am boasting that when you go to Kitwe, yes, the road network is very bad in Kitwe, but Nkana has got the most road projects. We just completed the Chiburuma Road, which was the worst dilapidated road, stretching about 7.8 kilometers, the first concrete road.
You're very loud on that one, and government responded. So you are going to give them a pat on the back.
Yes. They came through, and we thank them for coming through, because after all, it is not for Binwell, it's for the people of Nkana.
So you do agree that they are listening government after all?
Well, they listened, and I give them credit for having listened to our, our cries. So in terms of road network, Nkana has received the most. Today, as we speak, we have a good number of third roads being done to a total of almost over 14 kilometers. This you will not see in most constituencies, including those presided over by the UPND. We have a big project worth, costing $7 million, which is the sanitation project in, Buchi. I'm just disappointed. We have a secondary school being constructed in Kitwe West, which is Kamakonde, which is still at roof level. I don't know why the Ministry of Health is still struggling to release funds, despite these funds coming from the World Bank. So if you count the commitment I made to the people of Nkana, I may not have done 100%, but I walk proudly because we've been able to touch most. My assignment in Parliament, remember, my job is in Parliament. I must represent the people of Nkana in Parliament. If what I have done in Parliament is not anything to write home about, then I don't know what else I could have done. I think, in all fairness,
your critics
if there's anything...
if you are going to say that, do we also count the suspensions as things that you have done?
My suspensions were because I stood my ground. I stood on the truth. I've been suspended for speaking the truth. I've been ridiculed, as the last time was, for simply debating a presidential speech. I've been called, what sort of a person are you, by a speaker? Imagine if I called the speaker that, I could have been suspended. That's how unfair Parliament has become. We are allowed to be bullied, to be ridiculed, but when we respond, then we become the black sheep of the family. Unfortunately, that is how bad society has become. Am I disappointed? I am very proud, because no matter the intimidation in Parliament, I've stood up and I've become that voice. Tomorrow, this voice, you look for it. It will not be there. And I know the people of Zambia will look forward to listening to the Binwell Mpundu voice. It will not be here. You know what they say about appreciating what you have and it's gone? I am here saying, I think whatever it is that I have not done in my discourse as a member of Parliament, be it at constituency level or be it in Parliament, I could not have done it, because I have done my best. I have given it my whole. I have let go of enticements to stand with the people, refuse the bogus Bill 7. When my friends were being enticed, I ignored those enticements because I thought that it was important to fight for, the people of Zambia. So I pray to God that God can give the people of Nkana a good leader. Because for me, my journey ends here. I am not standing, I'm not recontesting in Nkana, and I can only wish that the people of Nkana can have a better leader, one that is going to do far better than I did. I will forever be grateful.
Yeah,
for
the people of the Copper Belt, Kitwe, perhaps they know you because you are someone that is a person, they would say, son of the soil. But for the rest of the country, we will agree that ever since you entered Parliament, the National Assembly, there's been more of people knowing about you through different conversations. Are you confident that the same influence that you carry now is the same influence you're going to carry even outside Parliament?
I don't know, Angel, if I'm influential or I influence others. I'm not in the business of doing it for people, or rather for crowd or for clapping. I do it because my heart is leading me to do. Whatever it is that I do it with conviction. If it influences people positively, then I'm overjoyed. There's nothing. If you read my background, where I come from a bad place. My dream has always been to effect change on other people. I suffered. I have gone through, things, I have begged on the street. I do not want to see a child begging on the street. It is the reason why I entered the political arena. It is the reason why I want to be president one day. It's because with that influence, with the power of the presidency, there is no way I can allow young people to be languishing on the street. There's no way we can have graduates graduating with degrees, PhDs and masters, only to find them mutuntemba mabooth when this country is endowed with so much resources. If I'm president, there's no way I would allow so the youth being shot at by our police for only prospecting for minerals, instead of embracing them, giving them, opportunities to participate in the mineral wealth. You have a government going to shoot dead your children. If I was president, there's no way I can go and arrest the young people of Chingola for simply expressing frustrations. You know why the young people of Chingola were throwing stones at the president, even if that was stupid of those young people. There's no way as a parent I would send them to jail. When you know as a parent, they were simply expressing frustration. What frustration? Because the UPND government have destroyed the lives of the young people in Chingola. The young people in Chingola used to survive off those dump sites that they've given to the Chinese and their friends. What do you expect from young people? Ala no mwana panganda. Insalanga ya chila. Kutiako tukawe mufiashi. So it is only prudent that President HH today forgives those young people in Chingola. Because whatever they did there, of course they were frustrated, they acted stupid, but vana besu. Nature lengere bachitifira kuchingola na tuchishiba. It's because tuariba poka epo vale dila. There's no way we can fail as a country to apologize to the families of those young boys who were killed by the police in Mufumbwe. If I was president, there's no way I can send the army to go and threaten to exterminate and fumigate our citizens because they are illegal miners. In Ghana, the illegal miners have been turned into legal miners. We can do the same and we'll be able to maximize revenues from our minerals. So I joined politics because I came from a bad place. And I know with the power that comes with politics, I can influence change. Is when you have leaders that prioritizes their pockets. We have a government that, is more interested in supporting foreign entities to enjoy business, to have all the opportunities the country has to offer. You look at the businesses in Zambia, the small businesses, they are all struggling. And ZRA is not in no uncompromising mood. For as long as you default on paying tax, they will revoke your trading license, or rather your tax clearance. No mangata ukwete tax clearance. How are you going to do business, and how are you going to pay the same in Congole? So we are dealing with a government that is ruthless. Look at how many people have been jailed today. And look at the hypocrisy of the president. When he was addressing parliament, the president says we need responsible use of social media. We need to avoid hate speech. We need unity. By pronouncement, we have been promoting unity. But the president has got a very short memory. He has forgotten that the social media platforms that are operated by the people that works with him, namely Koswe, namely Watchdog, have been over many years been spreading hate in this country. They've been, defaming citizens, willfully so, and they go scot-free. Imagine a president who says, let us use social media responsibly, but is ignoring that his own platform. Think of any UPND platform today that does not antagonize citizens or the opposition. Think of it. Look at what happens by Koswe. Look at what happens by Watchdog. These media platforms antagonize.
Do you have proof
it is in public domain?
Those pages are run by people close to the president?
It is in public domain, Angel. Koswe yaba UPND. And some of them are working at State House. Watchdog yaba UPND. Some of them are working in the high offices of government today. It is in public domain. These are social media pages that have gone all out from opposition to now, antagonizing citizens. So we need to be truthful as a people. You cannot be asking people to act responsibly when you are acting otherwise. You speak about unity. President HH has been going round spreading hate and divisions. What do you expect when a president goes to Wengwa and says, the people hate me because I come from Wengwa? Didn't you hear him say that? You heard. What do you expect in regards to national unity if the president is going to go out every time he goes to Southern Province suggesting that the rest hates him because he comes from Southern Province? That is spreading hate. That's spreading division. If I was president, I would not allow this country to be divided, starting from appointments. I would challenge you, Angel. Go and list the 20 most important institutions in this country, starting from the three arms of government. Mwingile na mayonse ya ma important institutions, the army, ZNS, ZAF, immigration, special branch. Go to parastatos. Tell me where those people who are heading those are coming from. In appointment, you need to demonstrate unity by appointing people from across the entire country. That's how you build a country.
But also you have to appoint people on merit.
Yes.
So regardless...
Are you telling me...
So regardless of where you come from, so long you are merited for that position.
Are you telling me...
I don't see anything wrong. I don't see anything wrong with someone being appointed, regardless of where they come from, so long it's on merit.
So you angel bafiati, aba kwata fe merit muno, ni babrulu fe bobe. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Are you telling me kunchendo kutakwa kwata credibility na masambiri wa mudela ndapo ikalafia iwe nje ole kefi?
Honorable, that's how systems work. So long you are merited for a particular job, it doesn't matter where you come from.
Yes.
And I think we shouldn't even be looking at where people come from, which area. If someone is merited for a job, let's go for it.
Exactly. But there's no justification.
That's the conclusion.
Angel.
So long you're merited for a job, let's go for it.
I agree with you.
It doesn't matter if you're my relative. If someone employs you and it's based on merit, Go for it.
Angel.
Because also at the end of the day, my relatives also have to be employed.
Angel.
Not by me, but when they apply, let's say for instance, they apply at a certain institution, and if they are picked, that's okay.
Angel, you're very right. You are very right. Meritorious appointments is the way to go. But there's no justification that merit is only found in one household. There's no justification. And that's an insult to us, the Zambian people. It's an insult to suggest that merit is only found in one household. If that's what you are suggesting. So here, I am saying, a time has come.
No, my conclusion is, if someone gets a job on merit, let it be so.
Exactly. And that's merit.
It doesn't matter if from one household there are 3 people that come from there based on merit. Let's go for it.
Exactly. But I will tell you, no matter how much you are going to sugarcoat it or sort sana, there will never be a justification that merit can only be found in one house.
Okay, I do get you on that one.
Thank you.
Let's quickly move on, Honorable. The president, I actually, before we get to the president Sona, good morning. This is a text message that I found very interesting. You are a huge political figure. If by God's grace the Tonse Alliance wins the 2026 August elections, what position would you be comfortable with? So, and I want to amplify this. You have your cards right. You have put your cards on the table with regards to the Tonse Alliance. Riding on this particular text message, if it so happens that you win the election, seeing what you bring to the table, what would you be comfortable with, or what would you bargain for?
Somebody once told me that the hallmark of great leadership is that you must be able to influence regardless of what position you are given. In fact, somebody told me you should be defined by the position you occupy. It therefore means it doesn't matter at what position you are, you should be able to be felt. Abantu bafune bakumfatu wali fina, whether niwebo Clarky, niwebo Malonda, niwebo ADC, or niwebo president. I served in the political arena. I come from the PF. I was provincial secretary. I did my part. I made my name. I served as district commissioner. I am proud of what I was able to accomplish. You know, those days, you know, you think of a DC in Kitu, or rather in the country, your name would always point to Binwell, because we did a fantastic job. Today, when you think of parliamentarians, I think my name would not miss. Okay? If tomorrow, Brand Mundubile decides, I'll be Binwell, Kabian Foreign Service, trust me, I'll go to that foreign service, you know, position and bring a lot of investors, and everybody will know that Kwaliba Binwell Mpundu. So for me, I am prepared to serve in the next government, and I'll do it with everything I have. But I would love to be in a position where I can influence change, and especially in a position where I can easily whisper to the president that apana. Because I'll tell you from my experience, abantu balachita sana worship ama presidents, echilenga ama presidents ukufirwa. As an example, abena Levi Ngoma baletwala ba president kwe bati mwali ba popular copper belt kanshi bashitire fyabayi cheba na bali lipila 100 kwacha. Now that is what has made presidents fail, praise singing. I would love to be in a position, because ine takwa ba praise singing kuline ine kukwebe for chidi. And if I'm going to be part of the next government, I would want to be in a position where I can easily get into the president and tell him, Bossy, apana firubana. Bossy, can we do? I've brought suggestions to parliament, if you've heard me, you know, Angel. As an example, because I thought young people are languishing and there are no employment opportunities for young people, I suggested to this government, even this social media you see can create employment for young people. Let us monetize social media. You remember that motion? It went through parliament, but by UPND have been sitting on that motion. It doesn't take so much to monetize. It's a government engaging social media companies like Meta. You can monetize social media, and the people can start making money. You've seen Bazimba, our social media influencer. Bazimba Bariaku states, because Munota Mudimpia for social media. You saw that boy called Aisha Speed who came. He's worth millions. He flies, you know, private jet because of social media. I made a proposal. They are graduates. They have got nowhere to find jobs. Let us at least create an incentive for social media to be able to provide means of livelihood for the young people. I brought another suggestion. We have a lot of talent. Young people that can act, young people that can create content. Let's create a film fund. A film fund, you know, movies, rather, the film industry has got so much potential. The Nigerians came to copy from Zambia in 1987. And today, the Nollywood is the biggest industry with the potential to give government so much revenue. I suggested all that, but this government, what did they do? They sat on that idea. I've got a lot of suggestions, you know, Angel, that can change this country. So I just want to be in a position, if not me, to be able to whisper to the president, let's
flip the coin on the other side before we quickly get callers. Flipping the coin on the other side I like how you've passionately come out and said you've got a lot of ideas. So the same example that I used for Tonse Alliance is the same example I'm going to use for the UPND. If it so happens that the UPND retained power in 2026, August, and the Zambian people, through the president, whisper to him that, look, we feel Honorable Mpundu has got very good ideas, especially where the youths are concerned. And he rings you. I want you to serve as Minister of Youth. Since you have the heart of the Zambians, for you, the first thing is the Zambians, and you have these brilliant ideas. Honorable Mpundu, let's work together. What are you telling him? What are you telling the Zambian people? Are you open to such
Let me say this, and I hope that I'm not misunderstood.
Well, it's a simple question, so we don't want to.
No, it's not a simple.
We don't want to.
It's
misunderstand.
It's not a simple.
So you're able
question.
to answer with the Tonse Alliance.
So let me answer you. We Angel. So here is where I stand. I'm a principled person. I'm not motivated by fame and money. I'm driven by my own convictions and principles. At one point, you are aware that I started aligning myself with the UPND. You are aware?
Yeah, just when you came into Parliament.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You should ask me why I moved out of UPND or I abandoned that alignment. It's because I found these guys don't mean well for the people. That's why I walked away. I have presented a lot of ideas in Parliament. I've ended up being insulted with brilliant ideas. If there were reasonable people that means well for the people, you know, abantu for bachita kukuita boy, yeah, idiole today. No opposition, but where do you think? Okay, because they've not been able to demonstrate that, I think they don't mean well for the people. Now, if I was offered another opportunity sometimes in future, it may depend on whether they would have changed what sort of people they are, because where they are now, I don't think they are people that means well for these people. And also, you know, if I found people planning to kill you or beating you, Angel, and I stood watching and I'm accomplice, right? There are a lot of my friends, my relatives, Zambians, innocent in most cases, who have been sent to jail by the UPND. And I should join them. What does it say to those people who have been unfairly treated? Munia Zulu as an example. If today, na ripokere mpia kuli ba UPND, na anam kuomba na bena, what am I saying to you, to Munia Zulu? What am I saying to JJ? What am I saying to Bachitotela, Bachilango, and brothers? What am I saying to Bowman, who was taken to jail for simply going to the market to buy fish? They called it an unlawful assembly. Munia Zulu, who was jailed when he was protected by immunities that we enjoy at Parliament. What am I saying? To JJ, who was abducted by arguably officers of the state out of his pronouncements.
So yeah, in
And
short,
he's
in short, because also when I refer my question, if the UPND win in 2026, it means majority of Zambians want them to continue, and they are for their ideas.
I hope so.
50 plus 1.
hope so.
50 plus 1. The UPND come into government. And the same people through the president say, we've seen Honorable Mpundu has got good ideas. At that particular score, or at that particular moment, Honorable, it means the nation is calling upon you to serve them in one or the other. So are you saying at that particular moment, your allegiance is still going to be to the gentlemen that you have mentioned over the Zambian people that are calling for your name to the president?
I'll tell you something. For me, injustice doesn't sit with me. Even if the whole lot of you Zambians would say, Kabombe naba, fotowakweba. For as long as they are unjustly treating people, I would refuse. Because for me, any ounce of injustice doesn't sit with me. I am before the courts today. You are aware. Over what?
Seditious.
What did I say? Defend yourselves.
With equal measure.
With equal measure. How many times did President HH say, make those statements? President HH said, if they come with pangas, use pangas. Defend yourselves with equal measures. So why wasn't he arrested? Why am I being arrested? Is it a crime to buy a gun? Don't you have a gun, you? Angel?
I don't have a gun.
Is it a crime to have a gun? So if I advise you on national television, I advise you to get a gun. Am I committing a crime? Are you telling me I'm committing a crime to advise you to get a gun?
But why are you getting a gun?
Why do people get a gun? Do you know how many guns people have in these homes? Everyone has got guns in their homes.
But we know what guns can do to a nation.
Yeah, but why do
we don't even have to go far.
So why
look at our neighbors?
Why do we have laws that allows you to get a gun? Do you know who gives a gun permit?
Yeah, but for you to get that gun permit, you have to go through a thorough process. It's just not as easy as buying a gun.
These are things that you don't attach emotions to. The law allows you to get a gun for what? For defense, right? The police are the ones who gives you a license to get a gun. If they knew that these guns would be used otherwise, why was the law providing that you must get a gun? And why do the police give you a license to be using that gun? So if I advise you publicly, go and get a gun for self-defense or to protect yourself, what crime am I committing? Bane, if you feel too, tuila fisenda fesola itiri. Isentu tufari obuntu. Ukumona pali umuchachinani. Ukumona pali injustice. We must be able to, especially moving about media. These are matters that you must be interested in. Why should we allow these injustices? Munia may have defamed Bamsokotwani. Yes, I agree. Because he made a statement that was defamatory, that he failed to prove. But where did he make that statement? Within the precinct of parliament, within the media center. What does the law say about the precinct of parliament? Anything we say within the precinct of parliament, we are covered. We are immune to prosecution. We led the magistrate to parliament for him to see that apasa epoablandile Munia. So why is Munia rotting in jail? Injustice.
The number is 0956-200-490. That's the number that you can give us a call on for your contributions and questions. So let's get to the phone lines on that particular number, 0956-200-490. Let's get to the phone lines. Hello, good morning. You are through to the program.
Hello.
Hello, your name and where you're calling us from?
This is Tonse calling you from Kanyama Central, Zambia.
Yes, Wamslanje, go ahead with the contribution.
Honorable Mpundu, Mauka Mwasuka Branchi Mulibwanji.
Tauka mulibwanji womu nsanje.
It's a blue, disable,
Ni soti sana.
Womsanje, please, you can go straight to your point so that we give chance to other callers to call in. 60 seconds, please.
Yes, there is a relationship beyond the politics. Honorable Binwell.
Sir.
Tayambikira kuti malume mweze munaonesa kuti mufuna kuyimirira president.
Zikomo.
Ndiye wamene ifulira kunkalira muziko yake. Koma tamene tingakuuze kuti munachokako musanga. Vana chavaite parasi mwavura chekete yachavaite mwaenda kubala chekete yavakaramba. Yavakote mwavara chekete yavakote manje vana muzavauza vichani manje. The next time when you want to buy as a president or what, vana vazakuuza ni bwaji. Avo vamene munawasapota avo yours there during unit MMT, PF. Moreover, when it was in PF, he was a minister, a cabinet minister. The time one of the members of popular Manila allowance, he was there. He never said anything because he was a beneficiary of PF. And then he could have a contract here, Mahara.
Okay.
He was there when we were being cast.
Yeah.
He was there when there was a wait prison for 5 years. Employment to freeze for 5 years. But my doctor is fired. He never resigned. Today, he tell us to say he can be the best president to come and rule us? I doubt otherwise we wish you all the best.
All right. Thank you so much, Womsanje, for your contribution. Really appreciate it. All right, we'll have to let you go. Thank you so much. It says Binwell Mpundu. Hello, good morning. You're through to the program.
Yes, how are you?
Very well. Your name and where you're calling us from this morning, sir?
Thank you very much. Local voice.
Lukulu Voice. Your government name, sir?
Hello?
Your government name?
Chinyama, other name.
All right, Chinyama, where are you calling us from?
Lusaka.
All right, go ahead with the contribution.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Chinyama. How are you, my brother?
I'm okay, and you?
Thank you.
Yeah, let me just try to tell you that in the first place, we are in a very good and very conducive environment. The case of who, according to you. Secondly, you were with the PF yourself. You removed new allowance. What was your reason that you gave? Again, instead of introducing free education, not from grade 1 to 7, but in the way it is, the entire school program from grade 1 to grade 12. You say no because there's no money for you to do that, isn't it? That's what you say. But PF at that time. But where is the money now coming from? From the UPND. Did they say that no, as we are going to manage? You argued with the UPND, no, you won't manage, there's no money. But them they are managing. So who was telling the truth then? And who is the leader then among these two?
Okay.
All right. Who has leadership qualities? The one who failed to introduce free education and the one who has introduced has managed.
All right, thank you so much. We've got your question, Mr. Chinyama. Thank you so much. All right, we'll have to let you go. Let's ensure that we go straight to the point so that we allow as many callers as we can onto the program. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Okay. Hello, good morning. You're through to the program. Very well, your name and where you're calling us from? Your name again? George within Lusaka. Go ahead with the contribution. Yes, please. Be brief. Yes.
Mkwaiba, George.
of magician in school, I don't know anything about leadership, I am very disappointed with my answer. Why confusion? You started well. Why do you put yourself in confusion in the when your need was there was fire MMT coming like fire behind it. MMT took power. When MMT was a PF was coming like fire, they took power. When PF was coming like fire, they took power. Who's coming like fire? The opposition. You are all jokers as the opposition, I can tell you, without you. Most of my jokers were Mundubile, and I can tell you, the opposition one day, but I mean, 5 million workers. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hello, good morning. You are through to the program. Online. Hello, good morning.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
Very well. Your name and where are you calling us from?
You are talking to Morgan.
Morgan within Lusaka, right?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead with the contribution.
First of all,
all right, Morgan, your line is quite bad. Are you able to call us back? Your line is quite bad and we can barely get what you're saying. Please try and call us back. Hello, good morning.
Morning, Mr. Moderator.
Very well. Your name and where are you calling us from?
My name is Philemon from Chitulika.
All right, go ahead with the contribution, Philemon from Chitulika, Zambia.
Good morning, Binwell, Mpundu.
Mwebena Chitulika, good morning. How are you?
I'm very fine. Allow me to comment on the issue of rule of law.
Very quickly.
Sorry?
Very quickly, go ahead with the contribution.
Which you, opposition, are not appreciating. If you can recall, when you were campaigning for Jonah, I saw you. You were campaigning in front of my house, near our branch, UPNG branch. You were campaigning, you organized, was my Paja, when you were endorsing this man from UCZ, somewhere there, you know, freely. So can you appreciate if it was your days somewhere there? You are not going to be allowed. You saw how we suffered when we were in opposition as New Dawn government. The head of state, you know, was stopped almost 2 hours, was detained at Chipata airport. Through the roof, Sun Radio, FM, Zekuza, Pampenge, you know, treason charge, treason charge, Yabuza. You know, these are the problems. But now this time, you are opposition, you have gone on a rampage, getting falsehood, you know, going to the extent of accusing me. Minister of Education to say whatever pera ama 50 quarter for transport and land allowance. But the minister has clarified to say, you know, the government only gives a new allowance. It's not going to
okay. All right. We'll have to let you go, Mr. Philemon. But thank you so much for calling us, and great to know that Mpika is tuned in. Hello, good morning. You are through to the program. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Yeah, this is Mr. Ntede. Good morning. You have to travel to Nkwala.
I'm coming, Mr. Ntede.
No, I'm just. I think, you know, please, you know, a lot of questions sometimes about the computers. Better get maybe 3 or 4 calls answered. You know, some of these things may forget to end up injuring some. That know me, there were chance question and so it's better and. Yeah, so it's better give me those 3, 4, 5 calls, then he answer, you know, cut for others. Because it means I've caught Mr. Mpundu doesn't answer. Say no, he has avoided some question. So my question is the issue about the way the appointment has been done. Let me take you back over the last suppose. Even if I say that you cannot employ Bemba, that thing that has gone natural death. I don't know what you can take.
Now, Mpundu, we have seen some changes now. They are heading for election. There are a lot of issue of delimitation, which me, I stay in Mattel, but Mpumbla is Kasenengwa. They are saying they will be Kasenengwa North and so on. Now the issue of delimitation. Even I don't know. I'm being a politician. What you take up at this delimitation? Is it right? Because we've been said no. Why can't you just wait for this election goes and then we can? I know that some of these constituents are very big, but why is it they have done it now? Why is it like that?
Okay.
And we have seen a lot of issues that are going down. Is it a political move or is it a serious issue over this
Thank
thing?
you so much, Mr. Ntele, for your contribution. Let's get our very last caller. And now, I think there was a question for me from Mr. Ntele on why Turebika Chihuahua rape in one pot. I'll also respond to him. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. You are through to the program. We know your name and where you're calling us from. All right, 60 seconds, your last caller.
I'm quite more than what I make. I'm quite. Thank you.
Okay, well, Lamek was brief. Let's squeeze in the last caller. Hello, good morning. Okay, all right. I think we call it a day. I'll allow you to respond to those concerns.
Yeah.
Honorable. You have about 5 minutes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So, the ceremony of Chitulika says if we, to a campaigner, there is a rule of law. First of all, Balamek, you need to understand what the rule of law is. The rule of law simply means to rule by the law. If we funded the land, if you to kukonga. As an example, when you are arrested, you must be taken to court within 48 hours. Okay? That is what the rule of law says. The rule of law actually emphasizes on equality before the law. Are people being treated equally? Uyunga pango mlandu bamtwala kuchifungo no uyunga pango mlandu irrespective of you who you are. Today we know the UPND are untouchable. Na corruption inelelo ile konka fiaba more opposition. We have a lot of characters in UPND. Some of them ba minister bashakwete ponangu nechibala na bakula maoteo mumakopa beotu. Veneyo te corruption, but if we nga wakula pofia kanganda kali concernation proceeds of crime, are you telling me that is rule of law? Elo imwe ba filimoni muletila yo rule of law does not include campaign. Campaign has got its own rule. Nga kwaba campaign, you are all free to go and campaign. By the way, Angel, you are aware of the behavior of cadres when there was a by-election in Petauke. Those cadres that went shooting at Honorable Brenda Nyerenda. The cadres that destroyed the vehicle from Tachalo. You are aware. They were UPND. If you talk about cadreism having ended, you are aware of a young man called Black Apple who was abducted by a named, UPND character. Uyowa peshabaka pokola. Everyone knows that this is a notorious criminal who has gone on rampage, abducting people, filming them as they are torturing them. What has happened to him? He's free. Nangba President Oko Badikonza Alasango. How can you say Kadarism Yaripo? You are aware of Honorable Sean Tembo, who was beaten, hacked in presence of Yui, who was commanding officer for Luapula province at a police station. The same case that led to me being arrested for seditious, practice. You are aware in Kasama, the last by-election of the mayor, where cadres of UPND went patotoring center, bala same futi mumulu abantu wapashika there to change the totoring center. Are you not aware of all these atrocities being committed by UPND? That today, imweba filimon ba kuchitulika, you can even proudly say kadarism yari poa ifintunumba filifie bwinu. To go and intimidate voters so that they manipulate our votes. We vera to be paikaba filimon. Iridia ashiriaba students ba kopa beot. Te ifotulandile tatuadiko ba filimon. It is the students of NOTEC that revealed that they were not paid. And in clarifying, the principal of NOTEC confirmed that he had paid them. Epo tuwa ishibira tikanchi kwa liko na ka something. Kulioko afumino kupunda sort sana. Kwa liko ka something. Te ifotulandile, we have not accused anyone. And the minister yesterday was actually very emotional. Takwa minister wa asuka fidali asuka mparliament. Kwa dinaba bikamuka kangala. We are not the ones who have accused the Minister of Education. Whenever student aba isokoloele, na mkufo kuchita justify. Ero ba principal, ba bika po muliro pa parafini pa muliro batira awo tuwali ba pele. Womu nsanje, you are saying abo bene ba brand Mundubile mo bali na muri in government ya fumineko. Ero ba kote. Oh, by the way, do you know how old brand Mundubile is, Angel? He's just around 55. He's actually, in our context, a very youthful man. If you look at it from that angle.
Yeah, but he's not a youth.
No. He's youthful. There is a difference between youth and inengpano.
Senior youth ends at 40. Senior youth ends at 40.
No.
After that.
Let me tell you, Angel.
In fact, senior youth ends at 45.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you, Commonwealth.
So he's not youthful.
So Commonwealth.
You are youth.
Commonwealth recognizes a youth to be 45 and below. So in a Commonwealth, ndimusepela. And Zambia is part of Commonwealth. Then kwabana ba senior youth. Okay? So ba brand Mundubile, ni ba senior youth. But we will not put him in that context. Bakalamba. Now, the way politics is, bo onsabadi mu UPND lelo, ba fuma kuma government yambi. You do not qualify somebody because afuma kuli government imbi. Perhaps in those governments, they played a very junior role. They could not have influenced decision, as the case of Binwell Mpundu is. Binwell used to be part of PF, but he was district commissioner. District commissioners don't make policies, and they don't make decisions. In fact, Niba captain to go and supervise the implementation of government programs in a district. So to blame Binwell, if you are asking a wrong person. The same may be for Brian. Maybe he could have been in a position where he could not make the decisions. But he's here. He was provincial minister, and you know, provincial minister is at a very lower level to the people that makes decision. But the point I'm trying to make is that everyone has come from somewhere, including HH. President HH was part of the privatization process that left this country messed up. Today is president. We could have also said, because you know that by privatizing our company, that is the starting of the problems that Zambia has today. And the president was part of that equation. All those ministers you see, Vamusokotwani is responsible for the mess that happened to this country when he decided to change the policies in the mining sector. We had the windfall tax that was introduced by Mwanawasa when he was an economic advisor to Mwanawasa. When he became minister now under President Banda Bamusokotwani, he changed the windfall taxes and actually allowed for those we had collected windfall money from to Ubabwesi. Imagine. Today, Bamusokotwani poverty. Ba Felix Mutate ekobadi. So, Mweboba Munsanje, all these you have under your leadership structures, they were there. But you see, somebody must be given an opportunity when you give him power. Tula ngena iwobu kalamba bobe. Ngefine, if you are going to give Brian Mundubile a chance, we were going to assess him now because that is when he is going to have the ultimate power. Okay? Lukulu voice, you are saying, you know, free education. So who is better between those who did not bring free education now free education? Let me tell you this, Angel. The UPND have done a very good job in bringing free education. But where have they gotten that free education from? There was free education under the PF government, or except it was only running from 1 to 7. 8 to 12. Eko baleri pila she abana be school baleri pila 200 kwacha per term. In some places 150 kwacha per term. So, ba UPND to bachitile is to move the free education from 8 to 12. Balunjile kofiaka pamulu. They cannot get credit for the entire from grade 1 to grade 12 because free education was there from grade 1 to grade 7. That is what they call, you know, a going concern. Government being a going concern, meaning epo bashidi aba nenu na imwelu ndeniko. If whenever Tonse we are suggesting that free education ikabe extended to tertiary institution, ngatu isabika kwecho, it will not get credit from grade 1 to the tertiary. We can get credit for including free education per tertiary level. By the way, free education is good and it must be supported, except we must do better. Number one, create an environment, building more classes. Pantulelo, abana besu baleikala kwati fite kwa mma classes. 200 pupils in a class with one teacher. The quality of education is being compromised. So free education, very good. George says, na mulufianya, you are all like jokers. You have gone into confusion. I want to repeat, the Tonse Alliance have gone into, does not have confusion. And if we, to Ilemuli Alliance, because the Zambian people said, ikataneni, unless the Zambian people today will change atawe, mweba chaba iche, te uko tualefua ya muleya, tualefua mule yoku. But they were saying, ikataneni, and some of them have been pointing us, ikatana na ba Tonse. If the Zambian people today will tell me, ba Binwell, I think you could join abanenu, it is not right. We are glad to listen to you.
Honorable, thank you so much, and we'll have to leave it here. Thank you so much for coming
Thank
through.
you, Angel.
All right, this is where we come to the end of today's edition of Chatback. Thank you so much, everybody that called, texted, and also our Facebook viewers. Thank you so much. Up next to do the news brief. Just after that, you can join Chipo with today's edition of Lifestyle. Good morning. Still on?